The biggest party of the summer is coming up, and it's packed with a lot of action and many championship matches. Here are my predictions for SummerSlam, and I'll throw in the 2 championship matches from Smackdown that's coming up this Friday. The women's tag team still doesn't feel important, but I'm glad that they're doing more to keep it relevant. More teams are forming and becoming more important. My only issue is that the current champs don't feel important. They don't feel relevant as the other teams. You have Bianca and Jade, Damage Control, the new team with Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Starks. Even Piper Niven and Chelsea Green feel more important than the Unholy Union. I think Bianca and Jade will retake the championships, and they can work on building up Alba and Isla. I feel bad for DIY because I think they should be the champs. I love them. They're a great tag team, but I don't know how they can maneuver this to have the bloodline moves without feeling weak, because right now I just can't see Jacob losing anytime soon. He is such a monster. He could win this championship on his own and make this new bloodline really feel legitimized. I just don't know what you do with DIY afterwards. Hopefully they don't split them up quite yet. They need more time together to really have that big impact for when they do eventually split, if they want to do the same thing like they did in NXT. I thought Braun should have won back at Money in the Bank, but I do like that Sami won clean. It makes him look strong, makes him look like an actual threat as a champion, which will actually make it better for Braun when he does win it. Braun is set to be a future world champion. Honestly, he is built like a tank. He is an amazing athlete. He has everything as a future world champ, and this needs to be the first step towards that. I thought that it was going to be a triple threat with Dragunov, but having Braun win clean over Sami is going to be great. And seeing how Sami teamed up with Jay the other day, and they have started that friendship over again, he needs to be folded back into the main scene. I think this year, at least one of the King or Queen of the Ring winners needs to win at SummerSlam to legitimize the King of the Ring again. The stakes of winning that tournament have to be real. I will go over Gunther later, but I really think it's time for Nia to win. Bayley is a superstar. I love Bayley, and this program with Nia finally makes it feel like she is the champion, since it's been an actual feud. But so far, the title reign, besides this part, hasn't been really special to me, and I think having her lose here and chase after the belt again would be better. Babyface Bayley to me just works better as a challenger than the champion. I also don't believe that Tiffany Stratton will cash in here, but the dynamic of having Nia being the champ and Tiffany having the Money in the Bank would be great. Whether will she or won't she cash in on Nia? I don't think she will cash in on Nia, but playing at that until someone like Bayley wins against Nia and then Tiffany cashing in right away to win will be amazing. I agree with Gunther that Damian's reign has not been that special, other than this feud with Gunther itself. I would actually love to see this play out a bit longer and have Damian retain, probably with Judgment Day's help, and then have Gunther win at Bash in Berlin. Gunther is going to be an all-timer. He will get his moments in championships, so giving Priest something more memorable about his reign will keep him as a top guy moving forward, but him losing without having a real defining moment might set him back. I don't think it damages Gunther either, since it will only be his second loss in like 2 years. He will be fine and will get his big time win at Berlin. Plus, having Judgment Day interfere somehow could really push Damian to turn on Judgment Day and really break away from them fully. So then after Gunther wins in Bash in Berlin, you can start doing that, Priest versus Finn or whatever you want to do after that. I think it's time for LA Knight to get his big win. This feud has felt so strange. I think Logan has been a great heel and has great matches, but he isn't a big enough star in the wrestling world, at least, to be an absentee champion. For this title to mean anything, it needs to be on TV. It needs to be defended. It needs to be seen. LA Knight will do just that. He is still big with the crowds, as you can see with his whole interaction with Jey Uso. I'm interested to see how he does in the match with someone as athletic as Logan. To be honest, I think Knight is great, but I'm never blown away with his in-ring work, but this could be that match that changes my mind. As far as Logan, he has been a surprise, obviously, but since his life is so busy outside of wrestling, it's probably best for him to just be someone who pops up here and there and puts on a hell of a show. That's always welcome. This is for sure going to be the feud of the year, but I don't know how I feel about Seth being the special guest referee. Also, what kind of rules he's going to really try to implement or really kind of try to push during the match. It's going to be interesting to see, but I just hope it doesn't muddle anything too much. This is supposed to be the blood feud, and it's always best to have that pay off in a straightforward one-on-one. If you want to continue the feud afterwards, you can add more stipulations. That's great, but it really, muddles the waters here for the first match. All being said, this is still going to be the most anticipated match on the card. I think CM Punk needs to get a win here. Drew has lost a lot this year for sure, but at this point, he is bulletproof. Honestly, he makes more out of losing matches than anyone on the roster. He can twist it and make it everyone else's fault. I mean, he's going to make it Seth's fault in his eyes, I'm sure, but Punk needs that win. Has he won a match since coming back? I don't believe he has, but it's been so long since we have seen him in a big time match in WWE. He needs to get this win. Other than the US title match, I think this is the most confident I am in a match. It just seems so obvious that Dom is going to turn on Rhea and help Liv retain. This is the smartest way they could have done this. Rhea is for sure done with Judgment Day after this and needs to go on her own babyface run. She is already a babyface, and we just need that true turn to happen, and that's going to be at SummerSlam. Liv has been doing great work. Her crying at Dom saying that he hates her and doing that whole show afterwards, and how Rhea really believes it and forgave Dawn is just gonna set it up all so well. And sometimes you just have to, even if it's obvious, the obvious is obvious for a reason, and you have to go with it. The boos that Liv and Dom are gonna get together are gonna be amazing. I don't know how long this feud will keep going, but I can see them doing this for quite some time. At first I thought Solo had a small chance of winning, but I just felt it was far-fetched. I just didn't think Solo was really at that level yet. And Solo didn't need the belt to go against Roman when he returns, which is why I thought Cody would win. But after the Bloodline won the tag team gauntlet match for the number one contenders for the tag team titles, I just knew they were going to win those belts. And if they win those belts, it just makes sense to have Solo win too. It can be a short title reign with Cody winning it back, maybe with the help of a returning Roman Reigns. Bloodline 2.0 will never feel as big as the original, but having them win belts would make them feel more of a threat. But as I already mentioned, this has to be when Roman returns. They have planted the seeds already, and with Jey and Sami renewing their friendship, the Bloodline is primed to set a return fully baby-faced. Well, these are my predictions for SummerSlam. Let me know what you think. Thank you, and stay safe.